Hi folks, Ed Snyder, Kansas Trapline Products. I'm super excited to bring you another YouTube video to offer you some tips that you can perhaps use on your own trapline. Now, I've received many emails and letters from trappers all across the United States asking me different versions of the Dirthole set, the way I would set it in my real trapping world if I don't have these tall erosion slips. And what I have is a couple of tracks running through this short grass pasture. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this up and I'll discuss it as we go along. So what I have here is the coyote track running like this, running this general direction. So the first steps you want to take when you're into this scenario is to look at the kind of ground that you actually have to work with. Where I was originally standing is flat and open. Now that might be fine for a flat set, but as you can look behind me, there's not very much guiding that I could possibly do. What I can do is I can go ahead and use the slight hillside to my advantage, kind of like I did in my backyard, but I want to show it to you. The trick behind it on Dirthole sets, when you don't have a really steep backing, is to go ahead and you need to kind of go down. Let the depth be the guiding that you're going to go off of. Make that Charlie Robbins style trench going down into the ground. So that first step the coyote makes is on the trap. That's a big secret right there. That isn't a secret at all. So I have my coyote sign coming right along this edge right here. I have a nice gentle slope that's coming up just like the edge of a waterway. If this was a cornfield right here beside me, same scenario, same difference. We do have a little bit of freezing weather. We're January of 2016, just so you know it. We have a little freezing weather, freeze thaw, and going on, and it's getting ready to go into a pretty good freeze this week. So I want to try to use as dry a dirt as possible. One of the things we can do to help us out to get a little bit of drier dirt when we're out on location is go and just scrape up some of this. Scrape some of this off to the side, so this way I have it for when I go to cover my trap. So I have a nice edge right here, a nice lip that I can dig into. And so what I want to do is I'm going to start off chipping away, and it's probably going to be pretty frozen, but we'll see how it goes. Big chips, big old. I think I got it. It took me about 8 inches to get down to the frost line, and I think I finally have it. Looking at this set, I'm a 8.5 inches straight down where I dug down to originally, and that did happen to get me below the frost. I'm ready now to go ahead and start worrying about the trap and drilling a hole and that type of thing. Basically, this is a Craftsman hammer handle, just to give you an idea about how far I done. But the big thing about this is I want to use this natural guiding that I'm creating, and I want to make the animal want to go down into my hole. So even though I could put the hole right up here and have good visibility, and it would work, I'm probably going to position that hole a little lower. He already sees the dirt that's been excavated out of here. I got the sign right here. This is probably the natural direction that the animal would work versus a little bit more of this steeper side. So let me go ahead and drill my hole out, and then I'll put my cable stake in. So let me go ahead and do that. Again, with my Dirtholes, you can start it like this, but you'll see me bring it down. I'm trying to level it out, and as I do it. Now I'm going to level it. I want to have this is very heavy clay. It just wants to grab it. And you can just see it just silly putty coming out of this. But look, if you notice how level that is, that's really making it so the animal doesn't have an opportunity to look at it from this side or that side or any other way. Let me remove that drill out of it. I'm going to clear out this heavy clay. I think the great masters of art would have been happy to have this clay for their sculpture work, especially with it being frozen. It was very difficult to work with. Alright, so the next thing I want to do is get my trap, and I'm using a pogo anchor. I cut the cable originally to 18 inches, and then I double ferruled it from there. There we go. Some old clay sitting into the slot. Pound that in. Okay. I tapped it down to my swivel, pull back, set it. Now, I don't want to use that clay to bed my trap in, but I am going to use some of this nice dry dirt that I scraped up. And what I'm doing, taking my fist and I'm making a bowl, and that's where my chain's going to sit. Going to set my bridger number 3. It is 4-coiled, 1/4-inch lamination, base plated. Go ahead at this time and check your pan for pan tension. Just double check on that. So I'll set it. And I want to get it back to being level. There we go. Because this is the steeper side, I'm going to go ahead and have that against the bank, the steeper bank. And in this case, I want I am from pan center, I'm about 10 inches straight back. I actually have my, it's very hard to dig this out. I actually have my trap on a slant right now, and that's fine because again, it's a hole going in. If you notice that my trap right now, I'm a good 4 to 5 inches down from the ground level, and but by the time I cover this trap up, it won't look nearly as deep as it is. But that very first step is going to be a fatal step to that coyote. This is a Charlie Robbins style set. Again, I'm taking advantage of the hillside. I'm cutting into it. Again, when I lived in Illinois, Iowa, Missouri, this set is the same set I would use there as well. We all have kind of a little bit of an edge to work with. So let me go ahead and put my pan cover on it, and I'll make sure this is also solid. It isn't too bad with Dirthole sets on being solid. The natural guiding almost takes care of that for us. But I'm using as dry dirt as possible. And yeah, beautiful. So I got a low hole. My trap is solid. Now let me go ahead and cover my trap. I'm using a solid steel pan cover. Alright. Let me sift it and cover it in. When you're into the summer and the early fall kind of trapping. A 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch of dirt is a good thing. When you start getting into the freezing weather, you're going to want to back off of that depth, 1/4 inch to a skim of dirt, just because you're not wanting that trap to freeze down. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to find that pan. I'm a big believer that as we sift this dirt, see how you want to go ahead and make sure it's solid, leading up to that set. That first step, as old Bugs Bunny would say, that first step is a doozy. Well, that's what this is going to be. And I made it solid. There's a little pan cover exposed there right now. That's okay, I got other dirt. So I'm going to sift just a little bit more. Let me brush a little bit of them heavy clumps out. They kind of slip through. And I'm going to sift back, and let me go ahead and sift this whole area in. We're just going to kind of, even though this is not a flat set, I want it to look, this kind of ages it. There we go. So my set is done. I have still maintained the integrity of my step down. I have natural guiding, and there's no way for the coyote to miss this particular trap as he goes in. It's just a natural flow. His very first step right there he's gonna plant that foot, and that's what's going to give us that good pad catch. Or depending on your, if you're using, like myself, I'm using a Bridger number 3, so it's going to be a high pad catch. That's what we're looking for. The hole that I drilled blends in perfectly with the flow of the dirt going into it. And again, when I go to put this bait in, that coyote doesn't have any choice but to come this way into the set. I'm using some Last Stop paste bait right here, and it makes a nice peanut butter type of a consistency to give it some example. And you notice how long this knife is, and when I go to put it in, it goes all the way in, and I'm smearing it along the top of the hole. Let me get in here. I'm going to get some unwashed sheep wool. It's varied color. So there you have it. You have a Dirthole set made in real trapping conditions. It's a nice step down. It's bait, lure, one-way entry. Again, the hole is drilled straight back into the bank. Natural guiding. You don't see me adding anything. You don't see me bringing in sticks or stones or anything like that. In this area, this is going to work for me. I got tracks running right beside the set. He's going to know it's there.